let's get real for a second. No matter how confident or independent a woman seems, there are hidden weaknesses that every man should know about. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding human nature and knowing where vulnerabilities lie. And guess what? It's not the obvious ones, like insecurity or jealousy. Those are just the surface. The truth is, women, just like men, have their weak points, and when you know what they are, you can navigate relationships with far more confidence and understanding. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why should I focus on weaknesses? Shouldn't I be supporting her? And yes, of course you should. But understanding these weaknesses doesn't mean exploiting them. It means recognizing the psychological factors that drive behavior. Knowing where someone might falter gives you insight into how to connect with them better, how to communicate more effectively, and how to avoid making avoidable mistakes. So, why is it so important for men to understand these specific weaknesses in women? The answer is simple. Relationships aren't always smooth sailing. Misunderstandings happen, and when you're equipped with knowledge about where a woman may struggle emotionally or mentally, it becomes easier to approach tough situations with empathy, confidence, and wisdom. Plus, it lets you see through the games people play, because let's face it, everyone plays them. This isn't about turning women into puzzle pieces to solve or being disrespectful. It's about knowing what makes them tick. Whether you're trying to build a better relationship, improve your dating life, or even just improve your communication, understanding the top weaknesses women have will help you become a more aware and successful partner. In this video, I'll walk you through the top 5 female weaknesses every man must know. These aren't the things they'll openly tell you, but they're powerful enough to change the way you approach relationships. So stick around and learn the inside secrets that'll make you a much more insightful man when it comes to understanding women. Emotional validation is her kryptonite. Women often seem strong and independent, but beneath that exterior lies an undeniable truth. Emotional validation holds immense power over them. Whether it's a casual relationship, a deep friendship, or a committed partnership, women crave a sense of being seen, heard, and valued emotionally. It's not just about compliments or grand gestures. It's about showing that you truly understand her feelings and experiences. Here's where the twist comes in. Emotional validation isn't the same as agreeing with everything she says. It's about acknowledging her emotions without dismissing or minimizing them. For example, if she's venting about a stressful day, your instinct might be to jump in and offer solutions. But that's not what she needs. Instead, simply say something like, "That sounds so overwhelming. No wonder you're upset." This small shift lets her know you respect her emotions, making her feel safe and valued. Why is this such a significant weakness? Because emotional validation isn't something women easily get from everyone. Many people brush off their concerns or label them as too emotional or overreacting. When you step in and fill that emotional gap, it creates a powerful connection. She feels drawn to you, not because you're solving her problems, but because you're providing what she truly needs, understanding. But here's the catch. Emotional validation is not a tool to manipulate. It's a genuine way to connect. If you fake it or use it strategically without sincerity, she'll eventually pick up on the insincerity, and that connection will crumble. True validation comes from listening actively, making her feel like her thoughts and emotions matter, even if you don't always agree. Imagine this scenario. She comes home frustrated because her boss didn't appreciate her hard work. Instead of saying, Just let it go. It's not a big deal. You respond with, I can see why that would bother you. You worked so hard, and it's unfair not to get the recognition you deserve. In that moment, you validated her feelings, and she feels understood. You didn't have to fix the problem. You just had to show empathy. When you understand the emotional impact of validation, you unlock a deeper connection with women. It's not about changing who you are, but recognizing this profound need and respecting it. That's how you build trust, emotional intimacy, and a sense of safety. She's drawn to confidence, but fears control. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have, but it's a double-edged sword when it comes to women. On one hand, confidence signals security, strength, and leadership, all qualities that draw her in. On the other hand, it can sometimes teeter dangerously close to control, which is something women instinctively fear. Why is this such a significant dynamic? Women are naturally wired to seek stability in a partner, and confidence offers that sense of assurance. When a man carries himself with poise, makes decisions without hesitation, and knows his worth, it's incredibly magnetic. But here's the nuance. When that confidence starts to overshadow her autonomy, it triggers a defensive reaction. For example, imagine you're dating someone, and you make plans for the weekend. She says she's busy with a friend, and instead of respecting her choice, you insist on rearranging her schedule to fit yours. While your confidence in leading the plan might feel reasonable to you, it can come across as controlling to her. Suddenly, the very trait that attracted her becomes the reason she pulls away. The key here is balance. True confidence isn't about dominating a situation. It's about leading without overshadowing her independence. Women admire men who can make decisions but still value their input. If she feels like her voice matters and her boundaries are respected, your confidence becomes reassuring rather than intimidating. Here's an alternative approach. Let's say she hesitates about which restaurant to go to for dinner. Instead of waiting for her to decide, or forcing your preference, you might say, I know you've been craving Italian. How about we check out that new spot downtown? This shows you're confident enough to take the lead while still being thoughtful about her preferences. Women fear control because it undermines their sense of independence. No one wants to feel like they're losing themselves in a relationship. By showing confidence without crossing into dominance, you demonstrate that you're secure in yourself and respect her as an equal partner. At its core, this balance of confidence and respect builds trust. She knows you're someone who can stand firm when necessary, but won't overstep. And trust me, when she feels that, her attraction to you deepens in ways that are hard to describe. The obsession with being understood. One of the most underestimated truths about women is their deep, almost unshakable desire to be understood. It's not just a preference, it's a need that runs through every part of their emotional and mental landscape. Women thrive on connection, and at the heart of that connection is the feeling that someone truly gets them. Think about it. How many times have you seen a woman frustrated, not because someone disagreed with her, but because she felt like her point of view wasn't acknowledged? This isn't about being right or wrong. It's about feeling seen, heard, and validated in a world that often overlooks or oversimplifies their experiences. This desire to be understood is what makes communication such a cornerstone in any relationship with a woman. For her, it's not enough to have a casual conversation or surface-level banter. She craves depth, the kind of dialogue where she can open up without fear of judgment or dismissal. And when she doesn't get that, It creates a disconnect, a silent frustration that can grow into resentment. What makes this so relatable is that everyone, at some level, wants to be understood. But for women, it's a central part of their emotional well-being. When she shares her dreams, fears, or even small details about her day, she's not looking for someone to fix her problems. She's seeking a connection, a sign that someone cares enough to listen and try to understand her perspective. The irony, though, is that women often feel misunderstood, even by those closest to them. It's why they open up more to their best friends or even strangers at times, because those moments of genuine understanding can feel rare and precious. If you've ever heard a woman say, "You just don't get it," then you've already witnessed this frustration firsthand. Understanding this weakness doesn't mean you need to agree with everything or read her mind. It's about showing patience and empathy, creating a safe space where she feels comfortable sharing her world. When you do this, you stand out, not as someone who simply listens, but as someone who truly cares to understand. That's the kind of connection that goes beyond words, building a bond that makes her feel irreplaceable. Her guarded vulnerability is a double-edged sword. Women are often seen as emotionally open, but the truth is far more complex. Beneath the surface lies a guarded vulnerability, a side of her she protects fiercely. She may appear strong and independent, but inside, she's constantly navigating a delicate balance between wanting to let someone in and fearing the consequences of doing so. This guarded side is one of her biggest weaknesses, and most men fail to notice it. Let's get one thing straight. Just because she seems distant or hesitant doesn't mean she doesn't care. It's often the opposite. Her guarded nature is a defense mechanism, built over years of experiencing emotional pain, betrayal, or disappointment. She's cautious about who she allows into her inner world, because once you're in, she gives more of herself than you might realize. And here's where many men mess up. They mistake her hesitance for disinterest or see her caution as a game. Men, wake up. If you think she's playing hard to get, you're missing the point. That guarded vulnerability isn't a strategy. It's survival. Women aren't just handing over their hearts to anyone who smiles their way. They're testing to see if you're trustworthy, if you're willing to stick around when things get tough, and if you're the kind of man who can handle what lies beneath her exterior. Here's the hard truth. Too many men rush the process. They push for immediate openness, expecting her to bare her soul on their timeline. When she doesn't, they lose patience or assume she's complicated.